Hello everybody, my name's Hal and welcome to my channel. Today we're on Holly's account. We're going to be taking over his arena. So on his account, he has a very solid champion collection. This guy's gotten incredibly lucky over the years, and he would like me to take a look at some of his arena builds and fix some of his champions. So the list of champions today is going to be Carnage, Nail, Volcanos, Lamasu, Cheshire, Harima, Fabian, possibly Duchess, and Crixia. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to be getting all of these champions with the proper symbol so we can just be looking at them mainly. And then we'll begin looking at how their builds are now, kind of how I did with my account in the previous video. So let's go ahead and get that sorted. Alrighty guys, so here are the champions we're going to be focused on. We only have 9, so nothing crazy, but just champions that are going to have a very big effect on Holly's account. So we're going to start with what I would say is probably the most important one, which is Nell. Then we'll see where we go from there. So with Nell's build, we want her in Stone Skin and Pinpoint. Besides that, yeah, I've recently done a video on her, so you guys kind of already get the idea of what her build is supposed to look like. If you did watch that video, if you haven't, feel free to check that out. It's a pretty solid one. I was happy with it. So yeah. Also, if you guys did not already know, if we are able to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of November, I will be doing a 3 full account takeover giveaway, which is all 3 combined is worth about $600 worth of work. And that's just me trying to give back to the community for supporting me as I go through content creation. So yeah, here we go. We're just gonna probably end up with the same stuff because I mean, there doesn't seem to be too much. Yeah, there's no attack main stat unless I'm just missing it. Attack. Yeah, there's no attack main stat in any set that I want. So we're just gonna go with whatever has the highest amount of accuracy, and hopefully there's a... Yeah, alright, sure. We'll just go with that. Now let's check out the Pinpoint. Not sure what his gear looks like. I haven't been on his account in a very long time. Okay. Maybe not be boots. It could just be chest plates and things. We're looking for an attack percent glove, an attack percent chest, and I mean if he has the gear, attack percent boot, but I'm not going to assume that we're going to be able to pull the speed that we need for that. So let's go ahead, main stat, attack percent. Okay, this one's actually really solid. If it is able to hit triple speed, no, man. And then down here we don't have much of anything. Okay. We might skip over the chestplate for now and come back to it later. These gauntlets are actually fantastic, so we're not going to bother with those. I do want to see what kind of attack percent boots he has. Okay, those are good, but not for this build in specific. Okay. So we're not going to worry about that either for now. We're just going to go here, go means focus on the speed, focus on the accuracy, focus on the attack. Or attack isn't exactly needed on these, just focus on the speed and accuracy for now. That one on Commodus is actually amazing, but I do believe Commodus is one of his main champions, so we don't want to mess with that. This is a good sub in. Yeah, we'll go with this one. I can't forget to be checking down here for anything that might be really solid. Okay, yeah, no, we're gonna have to go back up to Stone Skin and focus the top row on Stone Skin. We're probably just gonna end up going Pinpoint boots because it's really just the easiest way to go. Okay, we'll take that one off of the Crixia, and that one really is just great for the accuracy. Okay. Seems like this super accuracy heavy one is going to be the one we go with, and now we just have to find the boots we're going to go with. We're going to take these ones off of Fabian, and then we're going to go with a... It's either going to be one of those... No, we definitely need the attack percent. We need heavy speed and accuracy. Let's see what we have. We'd prefer it to be in like a feral set, but I am not currently seeing one. Okay. Alright, so no, this is actually going to be one of the best pieces we have. So we're going to shift off of probably this. Yeah. Shift off of that. Go with the highest speed, attack, and accuracy we have. And that is very good, but yeah, we're more looking for something in feral or pinpoint or really anything that's just going to give us some stat boost. No, okay. Alright, it seems like this one is going to be the best for the overall accuracy, attack, and speed of the build. So we're going to equip that. Then Arachno Elixirs are already here. We're going to redo the masteries here. Swap these on over to the ones. I believe these are just going to be a copy and paste of my other masteries. Eagle Eye, go with the attack. Then here it doesn't really matter all that much. We can just go crit damage. We want to go Whirlwind of Death. We do want to pick up that accuracy. We would like to be getting... None of this really matters all that much. And giving her the chance to heal up can be solid. And then Spear Haste is also pretty nice to have, because if she's ever stuck in a solo situation, it can be nice to just be able to grab some of that. And then we'll go with Kill Streak. Alright, so right now she is 5.3, 289, 600. So let's go ahead and get into the Ascension. We don't have much reroll right now, so we're not going to be rerolling pieces. Okay, come on. I can't always have this this curse with glyphs. I swear it's just always been following me. Okay. Man, it doesn't seem to be getting any better. There we go. Okay. These gauntlets are great, but we don't need to go too heavy at the moment. Let's just get this rolled up to 12. Let's really just focus on if we can get another accuracy roll. We did not. Here, if we can get attack, we'll gladly take it. Yeah, there we go. Bit of an attack boost, and overall, that will work. So that puts Nell. One second, let's just make sure we don't miss out on a possible attack ascension. Alright, so without any extra boosts and things, we are now at 5.6k attack, 292 speed, 630 accuracy in pinpoint and stone skin. So I'm pretty happy with this build. Masteries are correct, everything's looking good. Just some changes he can make over time to improve the build that are overall pretty easy. So now we are going to move on to I want to say Volcanos. Volcanos is probably the next most important champion, alongside. I'd say all these champions are pretty important. I'd say Harima and Duchess are probably the least important ones, but regardless, we need to go ahead and get all of them done right. So Volcanos, he is a menace. We really always want to run him with at least one demon spawn, because this allows him to never have his stuff resisted or blocked, which means we should probably be focused on just getting his damage decently high. Say his damage, but we need to focus on pinpoint and stone skin, and then the rest of it can just kind of come along afterwards. So we're going to run him down into I would say Whirlwind to Death can be good. So we're gonna go Kill Streak, Methodical, Helm Smasher. Opportunist is always strong because most of the time you're running a form of crowd control. But we're gonna go Retribution, Life Drinker, and bring it down. Okay, now he already has a Skull of Treason on, so that makes his HP burns do more damage. Very solid. And now we got to see what we have. I'm not going to put any accuracy on him because you're never going to run him without another demon spawn. And what really makes that easy to do is if you focus on running your Lamasu and your Carnage or Cheshire, and basically every fight, you'll never go without one. So I'm not too worried about getting a bunch of accuracy on him. I just want to focus on his defense, his speed, his damage, while staying in. I wanted, yeah, Stone Skin and Pinpoint, just making sure he isn't taking much damage because his A1 is really what matters. It's how we're going to be getting uh, most of what we do because that is where the block revive is. But is that only with all of the, yeah, that's only with all of the allies. Okay. No, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. Yeah, his A1 is just, it's the counterattacks. It's a lot of damage. We want him slow so he's counterattacking in a similar way to how you maybe build a Carnage depending on your account. So yeah, defense. Let's go equipped and see what we have. We don't have any of the sets, so we're going to go with the reaction one. Just making sure that he doesn't get one shot. It is hard to one shot him, but it is possible. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on there. We already know that we're kind of struggling for pinpoint. I feel like most accounts are, so we're going to go with the pinpoint accessories. We did get pretty lucky there on this ring. Very, very nice. All right. Now let's see what we can get going. I want to put him around 200 speed. I don't want him to be too quick. I also don't want him to be too slow. Now 200 speed on pretty much any other champion would be too slow, and I do recognize that. But I do think with how he works, having him slow it doesn't hurt him. It really does just help him because we want that passive to be lasting as long as possible. We are going to go for the rework on these. We got the defense percent. Fantastic. It's really what we needed. And now let's see what we have in pinpoint. Because this is going to be the hardest pieces to get going. That's a great gauntlet right there. My goodness. Okay, so we are with equipped. We just have very little pinpoint equipped. So that's crit damage. Oh, okay. This one is defense percent, crit damage, speed, and accuracy. I do like that. That covers pretty much everything that we would like on this champion. This one is heavy on the crit rate, which I do like. I just want to make sure we're not possibly skipping out on something like a defense percent chest plate that would allow us to avoid going with um, something in another set just so we can knock it out. Okay, looks like we're gonna have to just go with this and see what we have in Stone Skin to make up for all the stats we're currently missing out on. So first we're going to look at crit damage gauntlets. What do we have? This is with equipped on, so ooh, got a whole lot of defense here. That's a lot of oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, yeah, no, we like that. That's insane. Are we gonna be able to get our crit rate at this point? I'm not sure, but we're we're gonna try. Defense percent, what do we have? Ashnar popping out with a very, very solid chest plate, but we want to try and find some crit rate somewhere. Do we have crit rate? There, we do have a lot of crit rate on two pieces. One does have some defense, so we're probably going to end up going with that, but we want to make sure, because, you know, we could be getting a quad crit rate here with defense, and we got it. Wow. Rarely do I say these things, and they actually happen. So defense percent, we have... Ooh, okay. Didn't quite think about that. We're gonna have to swap to a stun skin banner as it is right now. Okay, this could just be someone else. Okay, that's a very solid banner already. Don't want to mess with that. Let's roll this to 12 and then re-roll it. Defense percent, defense percent. I mean, we will definitely take that. There's sadly no speed, so we are getting very slow here. Way too slow. So we're gonna have to try and make up for a lot of the missing speed with a decent chest plate as well as some other very solid. Okay, we don't have any triple rolls except for this. My goodness. That is a piece right there. That's almost perfect. So we really need to, we can change out this, we can change out this for possibly a new shield over here. So we don't need much crit rate, but so if we added that, we could then change out, let's check this first. 24. We're still a good bit over on crit rate. Alright, so let's go back to the helmets and we had this one, which was 24. Man, we are bouncing around. Bouncing real close to what we need here. Oh, man. No, we don't have anything higher here. Gauntlets, no. But we do have higher stuff on the helmet. It's just the helmet is what made this so much better. Okay, that's doable. I can live with that. And then we can bring down possibly crit rate on here. I just want to double check, make sure there isn't. Man, I thought there was one with just a little bit of crit rate. Didn't expect Vulcanus build to take so long. Okay, there we go. Less crit rate, more speed. Right around the speed I wanted us to be. I can live with that. We're gonna boost them up just a tad bit more. We can get defense. We're just gonna take it and max it. On here, we got plenty of room to glyph, all this defense. And this one isn't all that great, but we're still going to throw some defense percent on it. Alrighty, that puts us one speed below. You know, if we, do we have a, yeah, we do. Okay. So we are now just under, well, not just under, we're at 6.8k defense, 202 speed, 281 crit damage, and then 300 accuracy. The accuracy isn't all that important. What is important is that we're in stun skin and pinpoint, and we have 100% crit rate, some crit damage, and a lot of defense. So that moves us on to the next champion. We do want to move these guys up to arena build just to make sure they're not still sitting here taking up space. Who should be next? I do really think Carnage should be next. He's a very high priority champion, especially recently with how strong he's been and because we have Volcanos. He's got to be our main focus. Okay, the other stuff can stay. I just want to see if we possibly have... No, that was the only one. Jeez, that banner. Alright, nope, we're going to be staying with this, which is fine with me, allowing us to not do too much stone skin. Right. I do remember these being very good. But I haven't looked at the attack percent chest plates that we have in any of our sets. So let's look at lethal. Aronix has an okay one. Or no, a very solid one considering we're using Carnage. So this could easily be what we go with. That one isn't bad because it could roll into crit rate. It could roll into any stat, and besides defense, it would be good. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Okay. Yeah, we're going to take this one off of Marinix. That is a very solid one. We get a plenty of accuracy out of it. So I don't know if his speed will allow... I don't know if his gear will allow for a really well-built fast Carnage. We might just end up having to build it like my Carnage was built. And I've been using it and it's been working great actually. So I don't mind the build. If we have to go that route, that's perfectly fine with me. Those boots are fantastic. That's a rough pair of boots there. Okay. So between these two attack percent or speed. Okay, these are amazing. Once re-rolled, I think these will probably be what we go with. Yeah. These will need re-rolled, but Holly is a massive grinder and will gladly get those re-rolled as well as all the other pieces I've mentioned that would need re-rolled. So I have no issues throwing that on there. And now we gotta find some speed. We gotta find something special. Which can be a fill-in set. It doesn't have to be what either of the sets we're currently using. But when we have something like this laying around, we might as well go with it. We got to get a lot of crit rate, a lot of speed, a lot of crit damage, and a lot of accuracy. So on this top row, on the weapon, I'm going to focus a little bit into there. High, high, medium, and medium. Actually, I'm going to get rid of the accuracy because we could possibly just run a feral piece, which would be ideal. So let's see. Something like that, you know, covers everything we needed. We have the speed, crit rate, accuracy, and attack percent, but I don't want to just hop to a conclusion because there's a chance that there's something else laying around. Something like that is very strong. Something like that is also very strong. Yeah, that is an incredibly strong piece. And is in a proper set. And we do actually have a lot of... That isn't something I checked, you know, now that I'm thinking about it. We should probably go check Savage itself. It's not something I tend to do, especially with such a stat-heavy champion, but it is worth checking. Okay, no, there's just a few really, really good pieces, allowing for a couple of builds, but it isn't going to be... It definitely isn't going to be what's going on Carnage. Okay, so with this, we're going to be going with one of these pieces here. So this is 25. Okay, this one has attack percent. We're going to go with it, giving us that extra bit of accuracy. And then we're going to go back to actually looking at the set itself because lethal is really all we can use. Okay, this one is really good, but what kind of... Okay, no, this one is really good. So we got to get a lot of crit rate, but I assume there's at least one... Yeah, I mean, right there, there's a couple insane crit rate pieces. Ollie's always had some decent luck with his gear. Ooh, man. So we can go with this. I would like that because we still need the Ascension for speed. We have plenty of room to glyph speed. Do we already... We probably already have Laura Steel. No, we don't actually. Okay. Then, yeah, we can go with this. Yeah, we go with Master Hexer, Keen Strike. I would... Whirlwind of Death is solid on him. Single Out's good on him. We're not always high HP with him. We'll go single out, bring it down, methodical, helm smasher, kill streak. I think cycle of violence is pretty solid. We'll go cycle of violence. We'll go ruthless ambush, and yeah, I like that. So right now he's again low on the speed, but we're gonna try and get a little bit into it. Man, I just gotta stop using glyphs. Gotta leave this to him. Oh, but see, we're still getting some decent results. This piece, another very strong one. There we go. Can we get attack? Nope. Okay, alright. So with some ascension work needing to be done, I believe this Carnage build is looking good. Now, I will say a wand can be very, very important on him, because champions like Armons like to target him. Uh, two volcanic hearts, really. Ooh. That is wild. What do we... Okay, I was seeing if we had a death dealer, because that would change what I'm doing with some of these builds. No. Okay. Alright, Cat's Gaze is fine on him. We're fine with that. What other... Out of these, we do have the multi-hitter. Okay. So we're gonna socket that, and then... Bonus or no. By 1%. Yeah. That can be good, but it's not really what we need. We'll leave it as is, and then circles. Do we have anything extra that I see being needed? No. Alright, we're fine with this. So a slower Carnage until we can get some glyphs into him. And again, he's still going to be slower. That is just the way this build works. But as mentioned, it's what I'm currently using, and I do really, really like the build. So hopefully he has similar results with his Arena build 1. And let's move on to our next important champion, which is a tie between these three, I believe. We really got to get them all built, and they all receive somewhat similar builds, but I think we're going to start out with, you know, let's double check before I say who we're going to start with. So Arena build 1, we have Shujin, Armands. Okay, we have a few speed leads because we have Carnage, Arbias, Armands, Shujin. All right. So I think we're actually going to go with Grixia over Fabian for now. Or no, no. I'm going back on what I said, because I do believe they need somewhat opposite builds. They both need speed, but one needs resistance and one needs accuracy, and one can also be functioning at a much higher speed and be much more effective, and that is Fabian. So we're going to run him. Ramontu, we're going to take your wand. If we can upgrade this, no, we cannot. Okay, that's fine. Masteries, let's check these first. Yep, they're fine. And let's get this going. So this is a very good one. Outside of that, none of these matter too much. But this can add a total of 80 extra accuracy to him. So we're going to take that and get to the actual build. So accuracy, speed, and see what we have. Okay. Wow. Clearly has not been the luckiest with his pieces here. So we're actually just not going to go with that. We're going to go with whatever our highest speed is, which is going to be this one. We do have the 5-star soul, is the main reason I'm allowing this to happen. And I guess there isn't much I can do about it because it just doesn't exist on the account. No supersonic. Okay. So we're going to go with pinpoint. Because I don't believe Fabian has to be in Stone Skin, especially when we're trying to build him as fast as we're going to be trying to build him, which is very fast. So let's go ahead and see what we have. Going speed, medium on the accuracy, because we really do want to focus the speed, and we can go equipped. So Senna currently has a god tier piece. We're probably going to end up taking that. And now, of course, he can always just swap between the builds whenever he wants to run his. I assume he's just using Senna mainly in Chimera when he wants to run his Chimera and when he wants to run his Arena. But this could be good on someone like Lamasu. We'll just have to see. So supersonic and pinpoint is what we want to be looking for. Pinpoint, do we have any extra boots? I forget. Kind of. Kind of. We can take these from him, but I don't want to leave like a bunch of champions always needing their gear moved around. I just don't think that that's ideal. So we're going to... No, I guess we really are just gonna have to do this because I don't want to have to add on to the massive list of pieces that are gonna need re-rolled. So we're gonna deal with what we have there. Go to supersonic and see what we have. So maximum speed, quad roll, fantastic. I'm jealous of that one. And then we have another triple. Okay, so we actually want 5 pieces of supersonic because we do have this one piece of pinpoint there. So we want this triple roll. And then what do we have? We do have this really solid one, so we're going to take that. And what can we finish out with here? What do we have helmets-wise? Because that decides the set that we end up going with. Do we have anything in that, like, reflex set? Doesn't seem like it. Here, let's drop the accuracy requirement. Let's just look at our highest speed pieces. Man. So we have nothing from Impulse showing up near the top. Any of these could hopefully be reset. You know what? Actually, I'm going to take that. That gives us more accuracy. This allows us to go in and throw this on. Yeah, I mean, that's very fast. Now we just got to get all this accuracy up because he is actually very, very low accuracy right now. We are not lucky today. Holy cow. Here we go. Here's one okay roll. And yeah, so 377, 507. Ooh, that feels rough. That low of accuracy just isn't gonna cut it. We had no accuracy with speed. No accuracy with speed. Okay. Out of all of this, we're gonna equip this. We have the proper thing there. We do have that. My goodness, we gotta find some accuracy. So we're probably gonna have to change out the shield, and then once he finally does get a proper banner, and I mean the banner is amazing right now, but once he does get a different banner, gosh, I was hoping that would roll right. Once he gets a proper banner, he can always swap that out and get a good bit more stats out of things. So we're gonna swap to this one because it does have that accuracy. Just pushing the accuracy in any way we can is good. So now he's at 540. Do we tend to run anything increasing our accuracy? I wonder. Now 540 isn't bad. It's just that a lot of like some champions, because Galathier Embreeze tends to get some pretty high natural resistance just by existing. So he could end up being a problem. Marius doesn't tend to have much resistance. So I'll say it's fine for now. Maybe not as our number one pick all the time, but I do think it's very solid. And let's make sure we actually go in and set the preset just to make sure it's there. I know he'll do this later for every champion, but for Fabian in specific, since we are taking from Senna, I do want that to be there for him. And so nothing is forgotten. Alright, so speed build. We are left with 4 champions. Crixia is probably going to be the next one that we focus on. We want her in Stone Skin and just incredibly high resistance and very high speed. So we'll see what we have. Okay, that's staying. Alright, so resistance with speed. We don't have much. Okay. See if this rolls anything decent. No, no double, no triple. We're gonna have to go with this one. See what we can get on the rest of things. Just grab a stone skin one, any one, doesn't matter too much. And now let's just focus speed and resistance. Go to equipped, and what do we have? Some pharaoh pieces, we have some speed. Where is the stone skin? That one is amazing, but it is on our Galith here, so we can't bother that one at all. Alright, so I guess we're going to skip boots for now and see what other sets we can go with. We don't have many resistance chest plates, however. We're going to go with this one because it is a righteous piece. And I believe we have some decent righteous pieces around based off of what I saw. That one's not bad, but I thought we had at least one really good speed roll. Here, let's see. Okay, our bias has one of them. He has 2 of them. Okay. Let's go check righteous and see what we can get going. If there's any pieces we can possibly re-roll. If there's anything we can... Oh my goodness. Okay. There's very little room. If this can triple speed, that would... Yep, there we go. Awesome. It's exactly what we needed. Yeah, now we gotta go to Stone Skin. Stone Skin's gonna be 2 of our existing slots. What do we have, guys? This one, not bad. I would prefer some more speed, though. Yeah, something like this. You know, we could either quad, we could go resistance, or not. But regardless, it's a great piece. And now we're left to only needing 1 more stone skin, and then we're looking good. You know, what? That's like it's a triple speed? No, it's a double speed. Double speed with resistance. I don't love it. Do we have boots? We don't have any resistance boots. Wow. That's rough. Didn't even know this was possible. Okay. Well, we'll see if we can just pick up a speed. Yeah, there we go. Great. And you know, if you're gonna slide me a resistance at the end, I wouldn't say no. No, we'll take it as accuracy. That's all that really matters. And now we're good. So we just need speed and resistance. Preferably, of course, it would be righteous, but we can't go with righteous, so we're gonna see if we have a resistance gauntlet, I guess. That is a amazing one. Ah, that sucks. Wow. So we're just gonna go with a broken piece. That's fine with me. What do we have? I wouldn't consider this really it's supersonic, which means, yeah, we do get an inherent resistance boost. Okay, we have two of them. This one has a pretty useless main stat or base stat, but that's fine with me. All right, I'm done glyphing, guys. I cannot seem to get anything. So we're just gonna leave the glyphing to Holly, and maybe he'll get a little luckier than me. Uh, this without glyphs and without the yeah, just really without glyphs, we're looking at 330 speed, 365 resistance. This allows for pretty much any champion that's going to be locking out to go before us, but not shouldn't hopefully be cycling us or just going straight over our heads. We are a little low on resistance, but I do, yeah, okay. We can just be going here and picking up the resistance boost. We want to pick up the accuracy boost as well, allowing for increased accuracy, lower steel. Master Hexer, we want to get lasting gifts. And then Arcane Celerity and Exultant Death. And then I would prefer to go from a wand to a, yeah, one of these. Inferno Sphere. I just think that the couple speed isn't as important as something like this. Yeah, this one isn't good. So an extra 51 resistance can actually be super, super beneficial. And then we need to just find something to slot in. None of those are all that great. Yep, that is amazing on her. Okay, so 327 speed, which will realistically get up to around 350. 754 resistance, which can easily get up to around 900. I'm very happy with this, and we can move on to the next champion, which will be Lammasu. Lammasu is another speed champion. We're purely focused on speed on her. We don't need anything else. Speed and supersonic. That's what we want. Supersonic is super important for her. More important for her than many other champions. We're just going to see if we can re-roll any of these into a decent speed roll. Seems like probably not. We're running low. Okay, actually, we got a decent speed roll, so we're going to be taking that. We are running low on silver, so some of these builds are going to have to be... We're going to have to really try and find pieces ourselves that are already rolled. So we go to supersonic. I know that gauntlets are very good in this. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that we need boots from this set, though. Because we have this. We could go with 5 pieces, and then we could go with 2 protection pieces, possibly. Let's see what we have laying around, what our fastest speeds are. Because if we need to go protection, we do have that option. If not, we'll kind of have to swap up what we're doing. Ooh. Okay. For some reason, none of his good speed rolls are in an actual speed set. It seems like everything just kind of goes to random sets. Is this really it? Yeah. It's hard to get really, really good speeds in broken sets. That's the only reason why I'm trying to make such an effort to get proper speed sets on. I mean, we're down to double rolls, only like 5 rows down, 6 rows down. Okay. We got to do what we got to do. And what we have to do right now seems to be just taking a perception set, and whatever our highest speed is a pinpoint, and with that means we can pick up some more speed over here. So yeah, I mean 350 speed in Supersonic without the glyphs and things isn't bad. This does allow for a decent amount of room to grow. And we can also pick up a wand right there, giving us a little bit more speed. So plenty of room to grow on this build, actually, and it is in Supersonic, which is really what we needed. Send that off to Arena build, and we're going to Cheshire. Cheshire Cat is an incredibly strong nuker, one of the strongest nukers in the entire game. So I'm really hoping we can find something for him. We would like to get him in 9-piece Merciless. That is the best build for Cheshire, but if we're not able to do that, just getting him in some very, very solid stats is all that matters. Yeah, let's see what we have. Attack with do we have a triple? We do not have a triple. Do we have a double? We do. Okay. Let's roll this one up and see if it might triple, because there is a... Yeah, there we go. Awesome. If we can get him in pinpoint, it's not a bad idea, but it isn't something we should be focusing too hard. But if we do just have the pieces, and I'm going to... If all I have to do is change a piece or two, I will gladly pick up the pinpoint. Okay. This is worth a reroll. Could have been good. Do we just have a good attack percent one somewhere throughout all of this? No, we just have that. Okay. So I do know we have some of these. This has attack. It's the only reason why I'm choosing this one over the other one. Nope, nothing there. And then we'll roll this up to 12 and see if it'll get crit damage. No. Okay. Alright, so it just seems like it's not going to be happening right now with the pinpoint, which again isn't a big issue. I'd rather be picking up some of these other things anyways. Attack percent. Do we have a triple? No, we do not. Do we have a double? We do. We do, and it's only level 8. It didn't go. There is... You know, let's see if we have a reaction piece. We do not. Guess we just don't really have good rings, so... No. What do we do? I'm gonna go with this one. It's fine to not get everything we need throughout there. Let's just make sure that we find some good pieces down in lethal. Speed, attack percent, crit rate, those aren't bad. Yep, we'll go with these. Then what other ones do we got laying around? So they're certainly a great defense piece, but when we need the attack, it's kind of hard to find. Alright. So we're going to be avoiding those and just going with the top row for now. We'll probably go to maybe speed set if we can for those two pieces. If we can't, we'll just see whatever the fastest pieces we have are. Now, take that off of Ashnar. That's a good one. Lacks some crit rate, but we can just focus on the speed for now. And then we just have to find an okay weapon. Man. Now I've said man, a lot of those different filler words, I'm just really trying to think, and I think out loud, which can be good when making videos, but can also be distracting for some of you guys, and I apologize for that. So we are going to go ahead and probably... It's probably just going to be a situation where the one on Ashtar is, again, one of the best ones. That one is also pretty solid. This one has a lot of attack. Attack percent. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go with this one. Two pieces off of Ashnar. Hopefully, Ashnar isn't in the active live arena rotation. I wouldn't assume he would be, but you never know. Some people have their preferences. Okay, we don't have many pieces here. Wow. His chest plates have had a rough time. Okay, we can take that. I assume his rabbit isn't in his arena at all, which is hopefully a safe assumption. Alright, high crit rate, high speed. What do we have? Need some higher crit rate than these. 21% is exactly what we need. We have speed, we have crit damage. We are just missing a lot of attack, actually, now that I'm looking at it. And we are missing some attack. Oh, wait, these aren't bad. We could go with that, and then both of these pieces are good, but this doesn't have attack percent, so we can take that off. We don't need any crit rate. So we don't need crit rate, we want attack and we want crit damage, but hopefully there's one that just is incredibly heavy attack like that. This is 28 speed, we don't need the crit rate. But that is 28 speed, if that's what we have to take, I got no problem with that. Yeah, I mean 28 speed, a good amount of attack. Yeah, now we are currently a little over on the crit rate, which isn't too big of an issue. No, I can be happy with that build. Now, again, this is one that is taking from champions he actually does use. So we're going to go ahead and save as champion preset. Cheshire. That is not how you spell Cheshire. And we're going to leave that there. All right. Another one not looking too bad. Now the last two, we have Duchess and we have Harima. Duchess bolster is probably what we're going to do. Harima is stone skin is what we're going to do. So both of these are already on the right path. We'll just look around and see if there's maybe a banner we can swap off to. Nope, no banner to swap to. I assume the ring is already good. Yeah. All right, we're fine. We already have a Cat's Gaze. We got the Heaven Cast, which I don't believe is what we're going to be sticking with. But we'll worry about that in a second. Actually, speaking of that, something I completely forgot to do is on Cheshire change him off of Cruelty, because Cruelty is definitely not what we need on him. I like cracking roots on Cheshire. He hits so incredibly hard. I think it is a very valid way to do things, because some of the nukers that are in Stone Skin, if he's able to just go out there and absolutely smack them, he can often break Stone Skin, and he sometimes does get that extra turn, and it just turns into a snowball effect. So if we go in here, I already know the best piece is on Ashnor, so we're probably just gonna have to take that from him. Yeah, I mean these pieces on Ashnor are just so good. Goodness, yeah, Ashnor just has some absolute insanely strong ones. Okay. So gauntlets wise, the best ones are already on him. I just forget what set they are. They are in lethal, aren't they? Yeah. So we're just gonna be taking from him. There's a chance that most of the best pieces are already on him. That's certainly going on. Okay, boots. We're actually going to be looking back over here. We're taking those. Who could possibly already have some of the better ones? We want a pretty defense, speed, crit rate. Okay, that one's good. Alright, so what are our mainly speed, some crit rate, heavy defense pieces looking like? There's no speed on that one. This one does have speed, some of the stats we mentioned. There we go. That's a triple speed one. That's what we want. And then I guess we're gonna have to go pretty heavy crit rate here. That is pretty heavy crit rate. That is also very heavy crit rate. So I'm gonna take from there. 7.1k. We only took one piece from Ashtar, and then Galathier. Was it that? Oh, it was Embreeze, not Galathier. Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking that was Galathier. No, that is not. That was Embreeze. Okay, what were these? We probably don't have something that matches that. I mean, I'm gonna check just to make sure because it's worth a look. So heavy crit damage. Okay, yeah. No. Do we have? We might have a stone skin banner. We could swap it out for. Dang. No, we're not gonna we're not gonna get to take that. So we're definitely gonna have to go back to Harima and change something about her build because that can't get off of Embers. That is just such a strong piece. So Harima, that man, that's rough. So we're probably gonna have to change to lethal boots. Yeah, these are decent boots. These are also okay. That sucks. We lose some defense, but it's not a big deal. What is our current helmet? It's the triple speed. We're gonna leave that be. And then the current shield is also triple speed. Okay. What helmets do we have? We're gonna have to go priority speed, defense, a little bit of crit rate. What do we have? That one is very good. And then we can go back and swap these over to the other ones I had already had selected because has the defense, we're not overlapping too much on the crit rate, and then we can just re-roll into either speed or defense percent. So yeah, another solid build done. And that leaves just the Duchess. So let's go to Duchess. She has 6-star soul, so she should be near the top. Yep. And that's good. We can definitely redo that one. This will probably need redone. We do want to keep her inside a bolster if at all possible because bolster is just the best set for Duchess, especially with Narcisse not being super in the meta anymore. Okay, we don't have much bolster. This isn't great news. We will check and see if he has any to craft. I don't know if he's ever really... No, okay. Ooh. Okay, then honestly, guys, I think it's probably better that we just don't put Duchess in the rotation right now. Because without a bolster set, I just don't think Duchess is worth running unless you're running her full stone skin, but then she doesn't really help the team that much. Man. Maybe we can get really high resistance, or which we just have to see. You know, I won't write it off quite yet. I was close to doing that, but we're gonna see if there is any way we can get something solid going without. My goodness, there's no HP boots except on two, except on two of the main champions on the account. Okay. That's just great. Wow. So without HP boots and without bolster, we'll get her in something, but it just won't be the ideal. We have a double HP percent roll in any viable set. Okay, that's actually really good. Do we have a resistance piece that's also worth running? Besides just the boots there. There is this one, but I would have rather avoid using that one. Okay, this one has HP percent, has speed. If we can just pick up a little, yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll go with that. Then we would like to get 3 more stun skin pieces. So we just gotta see what we have. If you guys have stuck with this video for this long, I really do appreciate it. I know it's been a bit of a longer one, a bit of a one with a lot of repetition in it, but some of these takeovers just end up turning out to be that, because when I like walking people through how to build champions, it can just be tedious. It can take a long time, but that is just part of it. Do we have an HP percent piece? I would much prefer to be going HP percent here. Well, no, we literally need to go HP percent. That isn't a preference, that's just a necessity. And now I'm assuming Python does get used some in Arena, so we're going to try and avoid taking from him. Wow. We really, really struggle for some of these pieces. So we're gonna probably just have to drop that off, and yeah, we'll take that. We'll go HP percent. No, we can maybe go with another set. We gotta go with a broken set, you know, it is what it is. You know, if this could triple speed, it would be very worth using. We're cutting it there. HP percent, speed, resistance. This will have a decent ascension. Oh boy. We are struggling for a proper Duchess build. Okay, I'm just gonna take off of him because that seems to just be the best thing we have, and I'm not gonna keep searching for something that doesn't exist. No HP percent. Okay, this one's not bad. If we get a little bit more on the resistance side. Okay, so we're gonna look for a resistance chestplate, and then we're going to be looking for an HP percent glove. Resistance chestplate, we don't have many, but we might have a couple okay ones, like this. With some HP percent, heavy on the resistance, that's fine. HP percent, speed. Do we have a triple? Okay. We have a double, of course. Of course. Do we have one that just exists in a set? Okay, we're gonna take that because that is a resistance set, and then have I'll have a single. Okay, we do have a triple. We have a triple with HP percent and speed. We're gonna take that. Now, this is a slower Duchess with some resistance, some HP. It's certainly not going to be one of the main champions being used, but I'm sure there will be times where she can come into effect and be very useful. Yeah. It's actually very good for her. Okay, alright, so that is all of the champions. Let's make sure that Duchess does get her tag changed on over to the arena. We're going to go to arena, spend probably 1 or 2 fights in here because the video is already an hour long. And if you stayed this long, thank you. This one is definitely taking a while. Let's go. Let's find something strong. I don't want to waste the potential of trying out these builds against something weak. Let's check out all of our champion stats. Oh, that's cool. I never noticed that. Champion. Alright, so these are the main arena builds. We're going to go against this team with a, let's say, yeah, let's go Volcanos. And throw Carnage up front, or actually, yeah, no, we're gonna use the builds that I did. And then at the end here, Galathier's probably the best option. It's not like this is a hard fight. I'm just trying to find the right way to show off some of these builds. Yeah, whatever. We'll throw Galathier in here just to let him do his thing and keep the team alive. Alright, so we are actually faster. We lock them out. Can they hurry up and take a turn, maybe? Ooh, yeah. Very solid there. Yeah, this Carnage is doing his job, keeping his Stone Skin up. Great work there. No, the Carnage build is certainly going to do some work. Loving that. Alright, this one is not super strong. Looks strong, but I don't believe it's all that good. What's this guy's account? Not good. This guy, not bad. Okay, we can go against this. This will be a very solid example for this team here. Hopefully they're faster. Yep, they're faster. I will say on our Volcanos right now, we are missing some stuff. We're missing the bigger souls, which can really affect how well we're able to do with him. But you know, it doesn't really matter what soul you have when you're using Volcanos to a degree, because eventually he will just kill the team. So that's another easy one. We're gonna throw in Nell and Volcanos in this next fight, just to see how well they do. Yeah, this is a solid one for them to just both hop in here. Nell and Volcanos champion tags, Arena 1. Nell, Volcanos. We're gonna throw in our. I'm gonna throw in our Cheshire just for the fun of it. So in Cheshire, and let's throw in. That's the thing. We're probably just gonna be faster, Shujin. But if we're not, they'll just get shredded. Uh, ooh, okay. We're able to kill, so they do have to deal with some of our stuff here, and we just win. Oh, I love it. Here's a strong one. We are faster. So this time around, I'm actually just gonna try and do something against her. There we go. Wow. I mean, they certainly tried to do something, but it didn't quite work. Use another decently strong one. Let's give him the turn. Let him attack here. Give him the extra turn. Some solid damage. Not too insane, but and he's dead. And now it is just the Galathier I'm surprised he didn't die right there. Okay, there we go. Alright, guys, clearly you can see the builds work. They're doing good. I'm sure more testing and live arena and things would really showcase them a bit better. But I'm happy with how the builds have turned out so far. Hopefully Holly is too. Maybe we do an update video sometime, just kind of coming back and looking at how the builds evolve with all the ascensions and things, the different glyphs that need to be done. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, really appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, share it with some of your friends who maybe need to learn a little bit about building and things. If you are not already in my Discord, you can join through the link down in the description. There you can find my account work. You can also find just a great community of people that are more than happy to help you with any questions you may have about the game, or you can just hang out. We are happy to have you in the Discord. Besides that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.